Beloved Masters, it is general knowledge that the sun conveys its life-giving force through its rays. In ancient times, the sun was mistakenly considered to be God and was given the name Ra. However, an advanced group of wise beings began to worship the one God instead of a great variety of gods. It is also true that there would be no life on Earth without the electromagnetic radiation of the sun, for the solar system sun that you see in the sky supplies the life-giving heat and light necessary to sustain life on Earth. However, what you do not see, and most are not aware of, is that there is a central sun above and beyond each visible sun that is of a much higher dimensional frequency, and therefore, it is not visible via any means available to humans at this time. This sun is the home of the godparents of your solar system. These great spheres of God light are cool, comfortable, and more glorious than you can ever imagine. For they are where all the magnificent, great shining facets of the Creator reside, and it is their duty to radiate the primal life force substance and / or the full spectrum Metatronic light out into all the solar systems and the planets therein, including the Earth. These wondrous offspring of the Creator were some of the first radiated forth from the heart center of the Supreme Creator, and they were deemed worthy to be overseers of universes, galaxies, star systems, and planets without end. The same applies to all solar systems, galaxies, and universes throughout creation. This is a very complex process, and we will not delve deeper into the subject at this time. What we wish to express to you is that your sun supplies much more than the heat and light of which you are aware. Up until the mid-1900s, people around the world labored out in the sun all day and did not wear sunscreen or feel that the sun's rays were harmful. They wore hats and some covered their arms, but it was necessary and not deemed to be detrimental to spend many hours in the sun. Gradually, the ozone layer has been affected by pollution and is not as thick as it was in the past, thereby allowing more ultraviolet radiation from the sun to reach the Earth and humankind. Since then, the harmful effects of the sun's rays have been emphasized so strongly that most people have forgotten the many benefits derived from exposure to the sun. The advertising of sunscreen products has been very effective, and most people will not go out into the sun without it, no matter how long they plan to stay out of doors. Remember, the sun's rays are still safe and of great benefit during the early morning hours until 10 a.m. and after 3 o'clock or 4 p.m. in the afternoon during the summer hours. At least 15 minutes a day several times a week are sufficient to give you a light bath from the beneficial rays of the sun. Also, the sun's rays are not as strong in the winter, and exposure can be a little longer. What we have given you is information about the importance of the sun for the well-being of the physical body. However, we wish also to emphasize that this phenomenon is representative of how far off-center many of the concepts within the collective consciousness belief structure have become, and how these misconceptions are affecting humanity in a great variety of ways. Remember, dear hearts, those of you who are firmly on the path and are capable of drawing forth the adamantine particles of Creator light and then sharing them with the world via your loving intention will derive much more benefit from the sun, for you are now able to absorb the higher and even more powerful and beneficial essence from the sun's rays, which is called the full spectrum Metatronic light. Vitamin D is only one of the many gifts that are supplied to humanity via the rays from your sun as well as from the great rays from our Father/Mother God. Know this, beloveds, you are in the final stages of a specific unit of time, and you all have been subject to a unique system of rules. Total free will was deemed to be a great gift. However, it became a great burden as humanity sank into the broad spectrum of duality, which has resulted in great pain and suffering. There was a non-interference clause written in the rules, and the specified time for this particular phase of creation had to be played out before our Father/Mother God could declare, "It is enough. It is time to intercede." There will be a divine dispensation for those who are striving to attain self-mastery, and the spiritual hierarchy and the angelic kingdom are authorized to give assistance in whatever way is appropriate within the framework of cosmic law. The law of grace exists as the higher frequencies of karmic law and will, henceforth, apply to the emerging group of world servers as well as the aspirants and disciples on the path of ascension. As this particular era comes to a close, there will be a new system of rules and laws which will apply to all emerging spiritual/human beings. A new expanded cycle of creation is in progress, and all of you who are striving to attain a unified state consciousness will be designated as co-creators of the future. As a ray of God light, your divine mission is to expand the borders of God consciousness. Your goal is to become a master of manifestation, drawing forth the essence of creation, activating it within your sacred heart and via specific thoughts from within your sacred mind, molding the God substance into an endless variety of forms. Thus, you become a true extension of our Father/Mother God. You, the Ways Howers, are the hope of the future. You are laying the foundation for a new social order. It is vitally important that you walk the middle path. A self-master does not take sides, neither for nor against the conflicts that are presently raging around the world. Your personal power is most effective when you stay centered within your sacred heart and you are guided by the wisdom of your sacred mind. Your stance should always be that of goodwill, and your platform should be for the greatest good of all. As you actively seek enlightenment and strive to return to balance and harmony within, it is important that you become aware of certain karmic limitations which your soul has accepted as a learning experience in this lifetime. There are specific limitations and conditions that cannot be changed, and the lesson is to accept them gracefully and to strive for excellence within the framework of the boundaries that have been imposed upon you, not as a punishment but as an opportunity to balance discordant energy and thought patterns. However, we wish to emphasize, this lifetime is unique for every soul on earth, and no matter what circumstances you were born into, there is an opportunity for greatness and a reservoir of knowledge and talents needed to attain self-mastery. You were designed to be a master of manifestation, a co-creator with God-given abilities. The first step is realizing that you have programmed within your DNA genius potential and a broad spectrum of talents and abilities. You chose, before you incarnated, a set of circumstances with specific abilities which are more readily available than others. However, even though the full range of your gifts and talents is held in reserve, you have the ability to bring them to the fore so that you can begin to actualize, integrate, and use them. You must have access to the higher dimensional levels of the brain in order to make contact with your soul self and the beings of the higher realms. Your brain is composed of multiple levels of consciousness. The lower brain and the 3 lower chakras are the realm of humanity's animal/human consciousness. It is mostly instinctive, drawing much of its information from the collective consciousness of the astral plane as well as from the Earth's consciousness. Survival and the ego desire body are in control of the masses' thoughts/desires and thus form the prevalent picture of reality. The focus is on the external, material world and on service to self. As your consciousness moves into the mid-level brain activity, you begin the process of becoming a spiritual/human being and your feeling nature gradually moves up to incorporate the heart and the throat chakra. A gradual awakening process begins as your soul nudges you onto the path of awareness, and the journey of ascension begins. An aspirant on the path must traverse the astral plane and gain control of the emotional/astral body and the lower nature, the 3 lower chakras, which will open the pathway to the refined frequencies of cosmic truth via your higher self, guides, teachers and angelic helpers. Harmlessness in thought, word, and deed with focused observation abilities are important traits of a self-master. You must clear the mind of distorted, negative, defeating thoughts before you can become a transmitter of light in the darkness. It is important that you understand, as your frequency patterns, or soul song, become more refined, your attitudes and comprehension will attune to higher and higher levels of consciousness. Your etheric body will change as well and will respond to higher divine energies. Service to self gradually evolves into a desire to fulfill your divine mission, and to undertake group service. As an enlightened being, you begin to build a bridge of consciousness back into the higher realms of this universe. It is called the Antikarana in ancient, esoteric teachings and the Rainbow Bridge currently. In order to return to mastery, you must learn to use the 3 aspects of your mental nature, the brain, mind, soul. You must also clear the distortions of the subconscious mind and attune the conscious mind to your soul self so that the wisdom of your soul and higher self can begin to flow throughout your 4 lower bodily systems. Remember, every atom and all your physical being has consciousness. They must be enlightened and attuned to the higher frequency patterns of ascension. You are made of divine essence. You are a spark/fragment of the Supreme Creator. You have latent powers that must be developed. There is a great need for humanity to refresh its spiritual memory and to develop the powers of a Master of Light. The Antakarana is composed of sub-tributaries or streams of light which will ultimately strengthen and magnify the connections between the many facets of self and your God Self/I Am Presence. These streams of light have consciousness and they contain the intelligence of your multiple levels of self which reside in the higher realms. As we have told you, your subconscious mind is becoming conscious, and your conscious mind is opening up to the wisdom of your superconscious mind which contains the mysteries of the universe. Beloveds, we see the light expanding and gaining strength in many places around the world. We also see your radiance and influence growing, and you are making a positive impact on more lives than ever before. You must remain heart-centered and soul-focused as the chaos and fear grow and spread throughout the planet. We have now joined forces and we are and ever will be invincible, for we are fulfilling a divine mandate from our Father/Mother God. Eternal love, protection, and blessings are yours, now and forevermore. I am Archangel Michael.